Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the local pundit. This is your footy tip show. The midweek games have just finished. Literally, I pushed the show back a little bit just so we could see the finish of Stoke v Middlesbrough, and Middlesbrough got the job done. They won 2-1. Stoke got a player sent off. It was all very interesting. Can you believe it? The table is tabling. And I'm going to get into that first off for us all before I go into footy tips. Let's have a look at the table and see where everyone stands right now, this current state of play. So after what is 28 rounds, and not all teams have played 28 rounds, Coventry sit on top of the table on 58 points. Middlesbrough, having played 28 games, sitting second, 6 points back on 52, both having wins on the weekend. Ipswich Town, who still have a game in hand, were in second until Middlesbrough just won that game, are now in third on 50, but with a game in hand. So 8 points back, but they do have to play Blackburn. And the way Blackburn's playing at the moment, when they have that makeup game, it's almost a guaranteed 3 points, which would only put them 5 points behind Coventry. So getting very tight there. And I think after the weekend, with Millwall losing, I think that has basically, I'm going to comfortably say, I think it is a 3-horse race. Although Hull do have a game in hand as well, and they're on 47 points. So don't discount Hull yet, just quietly, of getting an auto promotion. They're in the mix. I think it's a bridge too far for Millwall. I do think it's a bridge too far for Hull as well, if I'm being honest. But the points say different. And then we have Preston North End rounding out the top 6 on 43 points. Watford slipping a little bit today, having a draw against Portsmouth. And I'll get to Portsmouth in a little bit down the bottom of the table. Stoke, obviously, just having their game, and literally they have lost. So that comes into the mix. And I would say that now they are on 41 points tied with us. And as I update that, so yeah, it just updates. I've just updated it, so it updates the games there. Wrexham on the right-hand side. Wrexham on 41 points, Derby on 31 points. So Stoke, Wrexham, Derby, 8th, 9th and 10th, all tied on 41 points. Only 2 points outside the top 6. Goes to show you how brutal giving up those points at the end of the game against Leicester. Right now, we'd be tied for 6th, but sitting in 7th. And I know Josh is going on about all the points we've lost, a possible 20 points lost from leading positions. And you take half of those, and we're currently sitting in 3rd. But anyway, them's the breaks, and I'm sure a lot of other teams have the same thing that they could say. So Bristol City 40, QPR 40, Birmingham 38, Leicester 38. Now, I would say that that's it for the teams that can make the playoffs. And I'm going to discount Leicester out of that because I think they'll get a deduction. That's my feeling. Southampton, I think it's a bridge too far, even though they did get a win tonight. And Swansea, definitely a bridge too far for a team. I just don't think they got enough quality to get over the top of all those other teams. Then from 17th down, I think we're looking at the relegation teams. So teams that can possibly be relegated. 32 points Sheffield, 32 points Charlton Athletic. I mean, you look, Sheffield's got 9 points. Sheffield United's got 9 points out of their last 6. Charlton Athletic has 5 points out of their last 6. West Bromwich has 3 points out of their last 6. Norwich, trending up, have gotten themselves out of the relegation zone now on 30 points, have had 12 points out of their last 6, so doing well, averaging 2 points a game for their last 6 games. Portsmouth have gotten themselves out of the relegation zone with that draw with Watford, and have 9 points out of their last 6 games, which has done them very well. And what does that mean? It means Blackburn Rovers have tumbled into the relegation zone. They are in free fall. They have 3 points out of their last 6 games on 28 points. Then we're looking at Oxford, who have 5 points out of their last 6 games, and poor old Sheffield Wednesday, 2 points out of their last 6 games. So I still thought Portsmouth were the team to go into relegation, but Blackburn not looking good. Not looking good for Blackburn. So, yeah, not very good at all. And as I look here, I can see Andrew, hello. Doc Wrexham, hello. SC Doctor. Hello. Love a Watford draw. Stoke losing, not bad either. Though a draw with Borough might have been nice. Yeah, I'm on the fence on that one. I guess if you just look at purely trying to make the playoffs, probably the loss for Stoke is better for us. I did like to see the top of the table tighten up though too. So who knows whether I'll be right or wrong on that. But yeah, Tommy, hello everyone. Nick Donnellan, yeah. Well, what a great signing we got today. Oh wait, no, we didn't. No, Nick, I think tomorrow or the next day, I think we might get one. So hold your breath. Yeah. Morning, Alan. Morning, Ruth. And hello, Donna. Yeah. So we are up and away. The table is tabling. So I'm going to now get into our footy tip competition. And I'll bring up the table, and I'm fairly confident my math is right. So, yeah, John's in the chat there. And, John, I have put the link if you do want to jump in for you, but in our chat. But, yeah, let's have a look here. So what we have here is this round 28 games. As you can see, I got 7 right. Paddy had a great weekend, midweek, getting 9 right, like 6 right and 3 scores. I only got 2 scores with 5 right. Aaron bombing it with 8 right, but 2 correct scores. But the winner of the round was John with 8 right and 3 correct scores. 11 points for John this week. Poor old Victor's MIA, and only 5 points for him for getting the away teams. And Harry all over, 5 points for him. What does that mean in the overall table? It means current scores. Me on 145, Paddy on 131, Aaron in second on 137, John jumping up into a podium position on 133, Victor on 108, and Harry all over on 130. So that is the current state of play for the footy tipping competition. But now we have to get into the weekend games. So looking at those, that's what we're here to talk about today. Wow, that means that maths were done this week. Thanks, John. Yeah, I got it right. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so we will see. I think, yeah, Nick, you might see that we'll have something before the end of the week in terms of a signing. So yeah, let's hold our breath there. So now let's get into this weekend's games. Derby v West Brom. So what we've got there is a very interesting game. West Brom in free fall, Derby at home, and I have got to change that. Derby getting, for me, a 2-1 victory at home over West Brom. I think West Brom might get a goal, but I can't see them doing any better than that. Not going very well at all at the moment. Then next up, we have Middlesbrough v Preston. So I think this is very interesting, and I would say that what we're looking at there, for me personally, is a Middlesbrough 2-1 win over Preston. And looking at the table, that would be great for us because that would leave them on 43 points, Preston, and give us the opportunity to leapfrog Preston this weekend if we can get our act together and finish off a game. Damn Parky. I'm going to jump on the Josh bandwagon. Bloody Parky. Can't get anything right. You know, come on. Fix it up for us, Phil. Get it sorted. But anyway, we're moving right along. Next up, Millwall at home to Charlton. Now, I actually think that Millwall are going to get a solid win this weekend at home at the Den, 2-0 over Charlton, which will not be great for Charlton. It will cement Millwall in the top 6. It would take them to 49 points. For Charlton, it would leave them on 32, and depending on weekend's results, could push them very, very close to the relegation zone. So not great for them. They are tumbling down the table. Remember, 6 weeks ago or so, probably not even, they were in playoff position. So not great for Charlton, tumbling down the table. Next up, we have Leicester at home to Oxford. And I think that Leicester are going to get a solid win this weekend. I saw enough out of Leicester against us. Even though we should have won the game, they got the draw. I've seen enough in them, and I do not rate Oxford at all. I'm sorry, Oxford fans, if you're watching. I'm just going to say it now. I think you're looking at a 3-0 loss when you've got to travel away to Leicester this weekend. Next up, we have Bristol v Sheffield Wednesday. Poor old Sheffield Wednesday. Still only one win for the season. Not looking good for them. And I think that their pain will continue. Bristol, I am tipping a 3-0 victory, which will put them to 43 points and have them obviously pushing up. But I have tipped Derby to win above them so far, and I have tipped Middlesbrough to win, so Preston to lose. So they would then move up to a tie with Preston on points if I've got my predictions right. So we will see. Next up, Hull flying high in 4th position. Hello. I've got a solid one in the. Hello, John. I'll bring you on in. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, mate. You?
Mate, I'm fantastic. Congratulations on your away win.
Thanks. Yeah, we only had to play the worst home team in the league to get a win.
Away win's an away win, mate. You've turned the corner.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? It's 3 wins in 4 now, or something like that, including the cup game. So, slowly turn it around, and obviously this week we get to use some of our new players, which will be good. So,
yeah. Would you like to try and do your tips live with me?
No, because I haven't even looked at them.
Okay, and you had a great weekend, mate. Winner of the week, midweek. Sorry, 11 points.
Yeah, I was looking through the results, and they were doing all right. I'm going to say I think I had you guys down to draw. I think it was. So I was
you did.
I was quite pleased when they grabbed that late equaliser. I won't lie.
I was absolutely ropeable. I will admit it. I just one of those opportunistic goals, and not happy.
It happens in this league, mate.
I know, and this is why it's so hard to even make the playoffs, because things like this happen. Teams that can capitalize on that final 15 minutes do invariably do very well.
Yeah, I'm going to say notoriously 1 goal is never really enough in this league, because only 1 goal, every team thinks they still got a sniff of something.
Yeah, I agree. Well, why don't I continue? I'll sniff through all my tips, and then we'll come in and we'll have a bit of table talk, I think.
Sure.
So let me keep going here. Hull, 4th at home to Swansea. I find this one very interesting. I mean, Hull they're going great guns, and I've tipped them to continue to get a 2-1 win over Swansea. I think Swansea's okay, but only okay.
Yeah, Swansea are pretty good at home, aren't they? I'm not sure they're particularly great away from home. And Hull are flying. Let's be honest, they're flying at the moment.
Flying and can continue. And, look, the longer it goes, the more they have to come into the auto promotion conversation. Another couple of weeks of this, and, it starts to get to the skinny end of the season.
Maybe. I think that may be a bridge too far.
I think so too. But the numbers don't lie. They're right there. So I agree with you, though.
Yeah, totally.
So QPR at home to Wrexham now. Am I heart or head? QPR only average. Wrexham, I think we look great against Leicester. We just let in that late goal. And I'm going to tip us for a 2-0 victory. I had 2-1. I had 2-1 victory to Wrexham down, and I changed it.
Brave.
Yeah, very brave, I think. A brave call by me. I'm going for the extra point, hoping that no one else tips the 2-0 victory, even though Paddy thinks I don't get my tips up early. Half of the games, everybody can see my tips, So,
yeah, tricky game that, isn't it? Because if QPR beat you, they go above you.
That's right, they do, and that's just it, they go above us. And, look, as tough as it is to say, it will be a big haul back. If we don't get points out of this weekend's game, it's going to be very tough to put ourselves back in that playoff conversation.
I don't know. Everyone kind of beats everyone, don't they? So everyone goes through a good 3-4 game run and then has a poor couple of games, then go through a 3. I mean, QPR, they've snuck up the table as well without really standing out.
Yeah, good point.
I think, in all fairness to them, I think they're not bad at home either. I think it's their away form is not brilliant.
In saying that, they've only had 6 points out of their last 6 games. So they've had a win and 3 draws. So they're not going that great.
No,
lately.
Just tough to beat by the looks of it.
Yeah. Can sort of tough out a draw. So hopefully, for our sake, we can get the job done. Now, next up, oh my God, Blackburn. They are literally on a cliff face without a rope and have just slipped off the rocks. They are in free fall.
Yeah, it's not looking good, is it?
No, not looking good. And I've tipped that to continue. Watford have goal scorers all across the park at the moment. So
they do, but they're not particularly good travellers, are they?
No, but against this current Blackburn team, surely.
Yeah, surely. It's a game Watford will target and say that's it's not a must win, but it's a really good opportunity to get 3 points on the road.
Yeah, and very dangerous for Blackburn here. They get a loss here, depending on what happens around them. And all the games that are really important to them. I've already said Sheffield Wednesday, don't have to worry about them, but all the other teams around them and just below and just above them. I think Oxford, I've already said they'll lose. So, for Blackburn, it's all the teams above them that they've got to get past now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I just don't think they can get past Norwich. But anyway, Sheffield United next up against Ipswich. Sheffield United, very patchy at the moment for me. So I've tipped a 3-1 win for Ipswich. Looking strong.
Yeah, they're looking the real deal, I think, at the moment.
I agree. I mean, you and I both said it. We both agree that we think Ipswich can still win this league.
I think they still do, if I'm honest.
Yep, I'm with you. I've been saying it for a little while now. Birmingham at home to Stoke, John. What have I done here? Then here's a game where you guys, obviously better at home, coming up against a team that just lost to Middlesbrough, but put in a pretty good performance. Had a red card, so that player will be missing for your game. But I have tipped a 1-1 draw in your match, and I'm tempted. I was on the verge of a 2-1 victory, and I don't know. Actually, no, I'm going to change it. 2-1. Yep.
You've talked yourself into that, haven't you?
I just talked myself into it right then and there, live on air, people. Yep. So when it comes out as a 1-1 draw, you can give me all the stick you like in the comments.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it's a draw. But I just think we are, at home, we are very strong.
That's
coupled with the fact. Yeah, coupled with the fact I think we're likely to have 3-4 new players available to us for the weekend as well. So the team and squad will look very strong. And I watched the Stoke game tonight. Stoke actually didn't play too badly, but they haven't been in particularly great form of late. I do fancy us at home.
Both teams were good without being great tonight.
Yeah, and I think I think we would need to beat them by quite a few goals, but essentially if we beat Stoke, we go level on points with them. So
you do, that's right. And they're having a look there. So
it would need to be a fairly big goal swing, I think.
Goal difference. You guys are on 1 and they're on 8. Oh, yeah, it'd have to be massive. You'd have to win by 4 goals. Oh, sorry, no. Well, yeah. You'd have to win by 4 goals. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
+4 to us and -4 to them. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would mean that you'd go ahead of them. Yeah. But I think just getting the win, I think, is the big goal there, isn't it? Get the win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get the win. Get up to 41 points. Stay in the hunt, because I think, to be honest, you're the last team in 13th position that can still make the playoffs. And it's a real stretch, but you could do it.
I don't know. We talked briefly about it on Champ Chat. I think we're being a bit too lenient in the sense of writing some teams off. There's a long way to go still.
Well, I don't think Southampton can make it on 36 points at the moment. I just think that's too many teams above them.
I don't know. I think I said on Champ Chat, the thing is, you look at Sheffield or you look at Southampton, both sides are quite capable of winning 4 or 5 games on the spin because they are capable of doing it. And the thing is, if either one of those did that, say in the next, block of games, it would propel them from where they are to right in the hunt for that top 6. The key is then, can you continue that run? It's like I said on the Champ Chat. There's a lot of teams in that. There's a lot of teams. Your Prestons, your Watfords. You guys, us, Derby. There's a lot of teams that can put a run of 3-4 games together, but then we don't seem to carry it on, and then we sort of slip up for 2-3 games, and that sort of brings us back into the pack and swaps it all around. It's the key is, can you go on a run and then prolong that run?
Yeah, like we've just done. You've reaffirmed exactly what we've just done. And to your point, if Wrexham can win 4 games on the bounce, you have to say Southampton and Sheffield United can win 4 games on the bounce. Sure.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like I said on Champ Chat. I know obviously the points and the traffic and all that, but everyone's sort of picking up points and dropping points, and there isn't a lot. It's not like there's a chasm of points there. I mean, you're talking. All it takes is a couple of draws and a couple of wins, and somebody that sort of was not miles behind you, but you were looking down thinking, well, there's a bit of a gap. All of a sudden, boom, they're right above you.
Yep. No, fair call. Well, next up, the last 2 games of the weekend here, and these are the ones that really matter to Blackburn. Portsmouth at home to Southampton, and luckily for Blackburn, I have tipped a 3-1 win to Southampton. I actually think Southampton are due to turn the corner.
Yeah, possibly, but that's a pretty big derby.
It is. Southampton coming off a win, travelling to Portsmouth, but it is still, not a big, not far to go. So yeah.
No, yeah. I like I said, I have no idea what I will predict in that. I tend to stay safe when it comes to big derbies where you just think, yeah, both teams cancel each other out because neither team wants to draw. Neither team wants to lose. Sorry.
Yep. And I mean, look, for Southampton, if they get the win, it does push them right up, like you were just talking about. 39 points again matters to you, making sure you get a win to stay above them. Leicester, I think a points deduction's coming anyway. It has to, surely. And yeah, Swansea, I'm sort of discounting, to be fair. I just don't. I hate to say don't rate Swansea. I just don't think they're as good as some other teams.
No, I think Swansea are your classic case of a proper mid-table side.
Mm-hmm.
They don't look particularly good enough to go on a really good run and get in the playoffs, and equally they don't look particularly bad to go on a stinking run that will suck them into the relegation. They will just sort of tick along and have a bit of a nothing season.
Yeah, and then last game, what an absolute cracker! The table does not do this game justice. I think this is going to be an absolute barnstormer. Norwich coming off a 5-0 victory at home to Coventry, who obviously leading the league. Boy, did I think long and hard over this, and I come out with a 1-1 draw.
Get off that fence, Ken. Come on.
I'm tipping the draw. I'm not on the fence. I've made my tip. I've put it out there.
Yeah, I'll be honest. That could be anything, couldn't it? You could easily see Coventry winning. You could easily see it being a draw, and you could easily see Norwich nicking it as well.
Oh my God, Norwich have just gone on the weekend, and they have gone and put. Where am I here? Yeah, West Brom to the sword with a 5-0 victory. Oh, wait up. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a proper relegation 6-pointer, wasn't it? That Norwich, especially more for West Brom, because it was like if West Brom drew that game, they kept the gap between them and Norwich quite, to lose to them was bad enough. To get trounced by them, and now Norwich are only 1 point behind West Brom. I think there's some alarm bells over in the Hawthorns at the moment.
in my opinion, Sheffield United's too good to be relegated, but Charlton down can still be relegated, in my opinion.
Yeah. I must admit, I am starting to worry about West Brom. I'm not going to lie. They shouldn't go down, and squad-wise and player-wise, they shouldn't be in trouble. But they have all the makings of a side that you just think, yeah, they almost think of relegation a little bit because they're just not playing well. They don't seem to be picking up results. They've changed manager already, so it's not like he's only been in there a couple of games, and there's been no new manager bounce because he's lost the first 2 games. He got absolutely battered against Norwich. Yeah, I mean, if there was ever a side in that bottom lot that need a result right now, it's West Brom.
Oh, look at that! Look at that table. West Brom, last 6 games, 1 win, 5 losses. They've had 4 losses on the bounce.
Yeah. Are they away this weekend? Well?
They are, just give me 2 seconds. They are playing West Brom. Going blind here, trying to find them. Oh, no, first game weekend. Yeah, way to Derby.
Because I did hear something more worrying is West Brom have lost the last 10 consecutive away games.
And right now, only 3 points outside the relegation zone. So, and Blackburn, even though I think they're going to lose as well, though, so that could be good news for West Brom because I really feel like, Blackburn at home to Watford. There's no guarantee that Watford will win that, but Blackburn could eke out a draw maybe. I can't see them winning though, just in my opinion.
No, you wouldn't have thought so. But it's the sort of game a team like Blackburn and any team in that bottom lot would say Watford at home, who are not particularly great travellers themselves. It's a game where you would earmark saying, okay, well, we can win it. It's not like you're coming up against a Coventry or an Ipswich or a Middlesbrough where you would kind of say, well, we'll probably get beat. Blackburn in that game will say there is a chance, albeit that Watford are a good side. There is a chance.
Well, Watford have slipped outside the top 6, but again, I don't sort of give too much credence to in the 6 out of the 6 for these teams from sort of you up. And Leicester for that matter as well in terms of playing. It's how they're playing at the moment. And then, you put Southampton in that mix as well. You put Sheffield United in there and you put Norwich in there who are, in terms of teams that can just put on really good form. And, everyone else, I think you go into it and you go, yep, definitely can win this game.
Yeah, because let's be honest, it was only, 3-4 games ago that Watford, I think, were 2 points off the automatics.
That's right.
So, and look where, you look where they are now and you think that's how quickly it can change just with
ironically, without too much bad form, like the last 6 games, 4, like a draw, a loss, but 4 wins before that.
Yeah.
So I guess you say the last 2, a loss and a draw.
It's been the killers,
1 point and the other team getting 6 points, that's a 5-point difference, between, say, Ipswich and themselves or Middlesbrough or Coventry. Or, well, actually the top 4 teams for that matter have all 4 of those teams have won their last 2 games and Watford get 1 point and they get 6 points. It's a 5-point swing.
But it does show how important the games against the teams in and around, because that loss that Watford had was Millwall, wasn't it? It was Millwall at home, I think it was. Yep. They lost 2-0 to Millwall at home, and you just got to look at the table and see it. With their recent form, that one loss against team in and around you, how much of an effect it has.
Yeah, and that's just it. Look, I think if Hull can put together another, 3 wins in their next 6 games, it's going to get them very close to a position where they're going to be very hard to knock out of the playoffs.
Yes. Yeah, you would say if they continue the run, we've got 18 games left or whatever it is. So, if they go if they get almost like you say over the next 8 games, if they pick up a decent haul of points, you'd almost say that they're going to be there or thereabouts.
Mm-hmm. Yep, agreed. It's just a like, this is why this league is so good. Like, as I scroll, John, it just works out that I just can't get Birmingham into the screenshot.
That's fine.
I miss it by that much.
I don't know. I think I said to somebody, I can't remember if it was in Discord or Twitter or something. I replied to somebody and said, yeah, that's fine. I forget the season ended in January.
That's exactly right. There's a lot of football still to be played.
Yeah, and you only got to look at the points difference between sort of Preston and us, for example. It's nothing. It's a couple of games.
Oh, mate, yeah. What is it? What are you? 38 points?
Yeah, 38 points.
Yeah, so 5 points off. So it's 2 wins by you, 2 losses by them, and you're straight past them. In 19 games or 18 games. 18 games. Yeah. And interestingly enough, it's that whole now. If you need extra points, having those games in hand is great. But the downside to that is you've got to squeeze that game in. And there's a price you pay for that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I look at our fixtures and I'd say our next 4 league games, I could make an argument to say that we could win all 4.
So who have you got in your next 4 games?
We've got obviously Stoke, but then we've got Oxford. I think we've got West Brom.
Stoke. So you got Stoke at home.
Yeah.
You've got Oxford away. Leicester at home. Great game. And that'll be a good one to watch, actually. And then you've got West Brom at home. Then, and then you've got a little team called Leeds at home.
Yeah, FA Cup.
Yeah. And then you come out of the FA Cup, but luckily you get the week, or you get 6 days, and you've got to travel away to Norwich.
Yeah.
Geez, there's some great games, isn't there? Just great games.
Yes, yeah. But obviously from our side of things, the run of fixtures we had sort of towards the back end of Christmas and New Year, it didn't feel too kind to us, really. I mean, we didn't play well, obviously, and injuries and all that sort of stuff going on, but the fixtures wasn't particularly kind to us in that regard. Whereas I look at that and you think, with the transfer business we're doing, we're going to bring in more players. Those it's a nice run of fixtures to go on a bit of a run. So I won't say it's make or break, but it's one of those. If we could get a really decent haul of points off those games, it will put us in a really good position.
Well, you want like 1 or 2 of these signings to really have that real sort of impact coming in, don't you? That where so and it's not like it's a masterstroke. It's actually more a little bit of luck that you get a player like, we had Ollie Rathbone come back from injury, score a couple of goals, and all of a sudden he's this massive hero. But it was just, he was Johnny on the spot, right guy, right time. I mean, you get a new signing, he comes in, he scores a goal. What it does is it lifts the whole team, mentally.
Yeah, because I mean, the daft thing is, obviously, we beat Sheffield Wednesday 2-0 last night. And you could, it won't happen, but you could make an argument come Saturday, our front 4 could be a completely new front 4. Which
is a fantastic thing to have, because obviously then, you got guys getting, 3, 4, 5 extra days recovery, which is just vital at the back end of a season.
Yeah. And I mean, I would arguably say our best player, Damari Gray, is due. I think they said he might be back for the Leeds game, so he'll be coming back as well. So it's only going to strengthen us further. But again, we still need to do some business in the market. We still need to. I think we'll probably bring in 1 or 2 players potentially before the weekend.
Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting to see when these players come in, how they perform. When they start, like, are they going to start this weekend? Is he going to wait? Is Davies going to wait a little bit longer? I mean, we don't have to worry about that because we haven't signed anybody yet.
Although, but you didn't really need to, though, did you? I mean, you're not in a position, I mean, for instance, last night for us, I think we had 4 kids which have never made a first team appearance for us on the bench. So our squad, yes, it was kind of our choice. We let a lot of first team rotation players leave and not automatically replace them straight away. So we did leave ourselves short to a degree, but you'd say for you guys, there's not a massive rush. You're not like, you're not looking at your bench thinking, God, we've only got a couple of kids and we don't really have any options. You still got a fairly strong squad available to you.
Yeah, I guess it's how you look at it. If you're just looking at squad alone, yeah, I understand where you need players because you'd let guys go. In terms of just a player squad size and players available. If you look at your squad and you go, do we have the right people to get the job done to make the playoffs? Then absolutely, I think we need players. We do. We need players to get this job done if we're going to try and make the playoffs, because I think with our current squad, we could still make the playoffs, but I tell you what, we'd be scraping in by the skin of our teeth.
Yeah. I mean, you always want to. I mean, as every manager says, don't they? You basically want to come out the January transfer window in a stronger position than you went into the January transfer window. That's ultimately the goal. If you can come out, once the window's closed and you sit down and you're realist and you look at the squad and go, yeah, I think we're stronger, then you've had a good window. It's funny how many times you kind of sit back and look at it and go, actually, I'm not sure we are, because it is a really hard window to do business in.
Yeah, but you guys seem to have done it.
If they work, yeah.
Yeah,
that's the thing. If they work, I mean, I know a lot of people get quite excited. I mean, we've bought the lad from Brighton, Osman, on loan, and I think, as somebody said, essentially in the summer of 2024, Brighton signed him for 18 million quid. And we've got him on loan, and realistically, he'll probably be a bench option, which somebody said, we've got an 18 million pound winger potentially as a bench option, which sounds mad, but it's like, yeah, but he's got to perform. It's all very good having all.
That's what you need. That's the sort of level of play you need when you look at this league now. And has always been this way. Like, if you want to be a force in this league, that's the squad you need.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think that's what everyone's trying to strive for, isn't it? But it's hard to do, and it's hard to, this window, I think, is, we've all, I think there's a lot of rumours about a winger we were after, which Middlesbrough were after, which then we were going to get. Now it sounds like they're going to get. So there's a lot of twos and fro's going on, because everyone kind of with the same ambitions for that top six, or, in the hunt for the top six, ultimately are looking at similar players, because everyone's after the same sort of quality.
Yeah, and if you're Coventry, Middlesbrough, and Ipswich right now, you're just trying to polish off that squad to get that auto promotion, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think Ipswich have probably got less business they need to do. I don't see any glaring holes. I know there's a lot of talk about Philigine's injury, and it could be a bad one, so they might dip into the market to replace him, because I know Mehmeti was mentioned. I think Middlesbrough are the ones that probably have got more work to do. I think they won't have. They wouldn't have anticipated to be in an automatic promotion hunt this season. Even the most bold, optimistic Middlesbrough fan wouldn't have said at the start of the season we're going to be in a top 2 race. So I think this window, albeit it's probably been a nice surprise for them to be in the hunt, I think their ownership will probably push the boat out a little bit to say, look, we're in with a real chance here. So let's maybe spend the extra bit of money we can find down the back of the sofa to try and give us a real good push towards the end of the season.
Yeah, yep. And you think about it, like, I'm going to give props to Norwich manager for standing his ground with Josh Sargent. He's galvanised his squad. They're getting business. They're getting it done. And I tell you what, at home to Coventry this weekend, if they get the job done and get a win, doesn't that make the top of the table look interesting? Especially if both Middlesbrough and Ipswich win.
Yeah, because Ipswich, of course, got that game in hand. So, it's one of those where, I mean, that's the stakes now, isn't it, for all three of them? I mean, that's why tonight for Middlesbrough was such a huge result, because, all three of them now go into every game kind of with the mindset that a draw is probably not enough now because of the way that the others are going. So you're almost going into every game anticipating, well, the other two are going to win, so we've got to win.
Yeah. Well, if you look at those results there for those teams starting at the bottom, Ipswich from their last 6, 5 wins and a draw. Middlesbrough, a draw, 2 losses, then last 3 wins on the bounce. So if you just go to the last 3 games, Middlesbrough and Ipswich have won all 3, whereas Coventry have had 2 wins and a loss. But, so that it only takes that minor slip now. You give – and it's not just that Ipswich have got that game in hand. That game is against Blackburn.
Yeah, and it's also about performances, isn't it? Because, I mean, like tonight I watched Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough looked a really confident, good side, worthy winners on the night. Ipswich just look a machine right now, to be honest.
Yeah,
and Coventry are the ones that, yes, they're winning, but they're not looking convincing like they were before winning. It almost seems like it's a real dogfight to dig out those wins, which is great if you can then turn it around and then start to play really well and then not comfortably win, but look more like they did early in the season. Then you expect them to go on. I think at the moment, Coventry, like you said, the Norwich game is a huge one, because you'd say if Coventry are going to go from strength to strength, they go to Norwich and they win. But if they go to Norwich and don't play badly but lose, it blows it wide open, doesn't it?
See, even if they get a draw, if both Middlesbrough and Ipswich win, it would take Middlesbrough to 4 points behind them. It would take Ipswich to 6 points behind them with a game in hand, which really, if they win that game, puts them only 1 game away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And looking at the goal difference, it is tightening up between Coventry and Ipswich. Ipswich on 23 positive and Coventry on 30 positive. So, you take a loss for Coventry somewhere, and we'll call that only 1 goal, and we take a win for Ipswich and we give them 2 goals for that, to be a little bit more positive. That would only put them a 4-goal difference and a game behind. And, a 2-goal game head-to-head with an Ipswich victory takes Ipswich past them.
Yeah, and the thing is with Ipswich, the way they're going at the moment, if they play somebody, I won't say down the bottom, but, somebody not on great form or anything, they could easily put 4. Yeah, they could easily put 4 or 5 past them, the way they're going at the moment.
Yeah, and to Coventry's credit, that's what they did at the start of the season. They did it to Millwall.
Yeah,
they had a 5-0, I think, against Millwall, and they had a 5-1 against somebody else. They really had a couple of games where they were just brutal.
Yeah, and of course, I think, was it 7-1 against QPR? Was it 7-1 or 6-1 or something like that?
Yeah. So, I mean, this table is just, fascinating to watch week on week now. I mean, and I just sort of I'm just sitting back and enjoying watching this table fluctuate and ebb back and forth, because until we get to, I'm going to say 6 games to go, that's when you start to go, okay, now we can really start to do the math. Until we get to then, you just got to watch it play out.
It's going to sound silly. It's almost pointless looking at the table till probably back end of February, early March time. It's one of those where it's always nice to see your own club up and around the table.
Taking it away.
Yeah, but it's one of those, because it can fluctuate so much. The key is, I mean, I occasionally look at the table, but I more look at our results in blocks. How many points can we get in a block of games, that sort of thing. As long as you're, I mean, for me, from my side of things, for Birmingham, I look at it and just think, if we can be within a couple of points of the top 6 with, end of Feb with like 10 games to go or whatever it is, you've got a chance. Anything can happen. It's been in contact with that top 6 group at the business end of the season.
Yeah, well, we had a look at your block of 4, and we thought, and had a look at that. We'll give everybody Wrexham's block of 4. We're away to QPR. We're away to Sheffield Wednesday. Hopefully we can do a Birmingham on them. We're then at home to Millwall. Big game. We're then at home to Ipswich in the FA Cup. And then we're at home to Ipswich in the Championship.
Ouch.
That is like, that to me is going to be that 2-game derby, I'll call it, in 2 different leagues, is going to be fascinating to watch managers' decisions in that match, in those matches.
Yeah, with those fixtures, your Sheffield Wednesday one, you just got to win. You just don't want to be going into what you would classify as the tougher games, not needing to win, but if you've not done the results well, you don't want to go into you don't want to end up playing Ipswich going, well, we haven't really gained a lot of points in previous games to keep the momentum, keep the sort of the points gap. You don't want to go into the game like against them not needing to win, but looking at it thinking,
getting a win against QPR this weekend would be great for us away, because then you could go away to Sheffield Wednesday and win that game. I think everybody could say that quite comfortably. That can be done. And then at home to Millwall. And so there is the possibility, when you talk about blocks, of putting a 3-game win streak together here.
Yeah, I mean, not even 3 games. You'd say if you could beat QPR and beat Sheffield Wednesday, you go into that Millwall game with a little less pressure, going, well, we don't have to. That's a game where you'd say, okay, yeah, we'd like to win this, but we don't have to. The results beforehand doesn't mean we have to go hell for leather and just leave it out there and leave ourselves open. You can play a side in and around the playoffs where you can say, okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to come to our place and try and beat us, or what's your game plan? So the thing, it's always key, isn't it? You don't want to go into that game where you've lost to QPR, you've beaten Sheffield Wednesday, and then you almost kind of say, well, we kind of need to keep it going. We almost need to beat Millwall, which then becomes a tougher entity altogether. So
I mean, you and I both think Ipswich can win the league. So I'm going to have a look at their next 4 games. I'm going to go, they're away to Sheffield United, home to Preston, away to Portsmouth, and away to Derby.
I can see winning all of them.
3 out of 4 of those games are away, and obviously you can still see them winning them all. But I mean, Derby and Portsmouth definitely. Home to Preston and away to Sheffield United. Their next 2 are the ones that are the tougher of those 4.
I think they take Sheffield United apart, personally.
Well, me too. I think I tipped a 3-0 victory. So interesting there. They then have to obviously come and play us in the FA Cup and play us in the league. Oh, how's this for a run after those 4, John? Listen to this. FA Cup against us. Obviously playing the squad, I think both teams, to be fair, at that point of the season. They travel away to play Wrexham. They travel away to play Watford. But then they get home Swansea, home Leicester. So, some really interesting, it's just fascinating to look at how managers have to manage players, how squads are going in their form line, in those blocks of games. Are they coming into form, going out of form? How's this transfer window going to finish off? We're only, 12, 13 days away from the transfer window finishing?
Yeah, it's almost, you look at the fixtures at the moment and you kind of say, can we play somebody which is either off form or, not fighting for their lives, but at the moment it's like you'd want to play West Brom, for example. That's sort of the perfect side you want to play, or even Charlton or somebody.
You say that, I'm going to have a look at West Brom's next 4 matches so they can see who does get that opportunity. Derby at home, playing West Brom. Then Portsmouth play West Brom at home. Then Stoke play West Brom away, and then, luck of the draw, Birmingham get West Brom at home.
Yeah, but it's a derby. I think that got moved as well. So it got moved from a early kickoff on a weekend. So I think it's been moved to a midweek game now.
Yeah, right. And then, interestingly enough, I'm looking at the team in free fall now, which is Blackburn, in my opinion. They're at home to Watford, at home to Hull, at home to Sheffield Wednesday, and then away to Norwich. So they got 3 home games in a row, luckily.
Yeah, but I think you would be brave to predict them to win more than just the Sheffield Wednesday game.
Oh, absolutely. I can see them losing both Watford and Hull.
Because Hull are one of the better away sides in the division, aren't they? I think so.
Yep. Which is the next two fixtures for them, and obviously currently being in the relegation zone would mean if they lose both those games, they ain't coming out of the relegation zone no matter what else happens to them.
No.
Yeah. So the chat's chatting away though. I'm letting you guys go with your chat because this was sort of more about tips than our squad today. And I mean, look, it's been interesting. I think that the league itself, personally, in my eyes, is just fantastic to watch. I so enjoy it. The watching teams go in and out of form, dips and rises and falls. But then what becomes apparent is when teams do have a major move up the table, or conversely, a major free fall down the table, that really puts them shines a spotlight on them, doesn't it?
What out of interest, what do you think of the overall quality of the league this season? Do you think it's a particularly good championship season, or as in overall quality of the league?
It's not the strongest. It's not the strongest season.
No, I agree. Yeah, there's a lot of people saying. Yeah, a lot of people are saying the same sort of thing, that it's hasn't really. It's looked competitive because everyone's sort of condensed and beating each other, but there isn't a lot of sides that stand out as particularly great sides, I don't think, this season.
Well, and I think it's never easy to go up. Okay, let's not kid ourselves about that. But if you think about it logically, let's just say the three teams that got promoted this season are the current top three teams. And it won't be that because that's just the way football works. But let's just say it's Coventry, Middlesbrough, and Ipswich, just for the sake of the argument. That means that Southampton are still in this league next year. Leicester's still in this league next year. You will have Burnley probably coming down to this league next year. You will have Wolves coming down to this league next year, and one other.
Yeah.
In my opinion, so, and Norwich had a terrible start to the season and have now figured out what they're doing. So next season, they're going to be a much bigger threat. Southampton will be a bigger threat next year. Leicester won't play as bad as they have this year, next year. So I actually think next year, and then all the other teams that haven't been promoted that are currently high in the league, Hull, Millwall, Preston, Watford, Stoke, all good sides. So for me, it's harder next year than it is this year.
Oh, absolutely. Next year is going to be brutal because of the teams coming down. Because I think obviously Wolves are coming down. I think West Ham are coming down as well. And like you said, potentially Burnley. But if it's not Burnley, it could be a Leeds or something. So the three teams coming down. Yeah, I mean, it was quite funny actually because my dad was watching the Wolves game the other night, and he was talking about them coming down, and he said next season is going to be horrible with them not down here. He says because even though they're coming down, he said they had to play sort of. I think one of their central midfielders was like third choice central midfielder who was playing because of injuries and all that sort of stuff, and there was a second choice winger and all that. And he said obviously those guys will all be still probably there. They'll lose they'll probably lose one or two of their sort of high profile players, but the rest of the squad will probably still be there or thereabouts. And like he said, their third choice midfielder, he said, wipes the floor with absolutely every midfielder in the championship this season, absolutely light years ahead. And I think that's the problem that we're going to face next season. Them and West Ham are going to come down with players which, all right, can't even get a sniff in the Premier League, but they're going to come down to the championship and just absolutely breeze through it, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, they've got 16 games left, and there's the current state of play. So the Wolves are definitely coming down, in my opinion. They cannot make up, 15. Well, they'd have to make 14 points and make up a goal difference to sneak over Nottingham Forest right now. Well, that's 5 wins, more than Nottingham Forest. Not just 5 wins, 5 wins more than Nottingham Forest.
Yeah. I mean, you just look at how many games the likes of Burnley and West Ham have won so far this season. It's just, it puts it into context, doesn't it? It's
3 wins, 1 win, 4 wins for the bottom 3. Every other team above them 6 wins or better. So I think probably a pretty safe bet. If you had your last $10 in your pocket, and I told you had to go put a bet on the 3 teams getting relegated, I don't think you'd change the 3 teams that are currently in the relegation zone.
No, because when you look at the table, you'd realistically say, okay, 30 points would probably keep you up, wouldn't it? Do you see West Ham and Burnley getting 30 points? I'm not sure you do.
Yeah, well, what's that? 5 wins for West Ham in 16 games, and they've only had 4 wins in 22 games.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then if you kind of say, okay, 30 points, say 30 points gets you safe. All of a sudden you look at the table and you go, well, Bournemouth are 3 points away from safety already, so that's 3 draws between now and the end of the season. Leeds 5 points away from it, and Forest are only and Forest are only 8 points away from it. So you kind of all of a sudden you think they're in trouble. They really are, because it's points are absolutely impossible to come by in the Premier League. So
I think it's only Forest that could go down, and I don't think they will.
No, I think they've got too much about it, and they've got too many match winners in their squad where just on any given day they could turn up and beat a Leeds, beat a Crystal Palace, beat a that sort of game. So
I mean, Nottingham Forest is a great side. They were almost good enough to beat Wrexham.
Their reserves, yes. Yeah.
And I'll take that.
Hey, I'm going to say, yeah, you would, because let's face it, Nottingham Forest reserves probably win the championship.
Yeah, you're probably right.
As a sad fact that is in this day and age of football.
Actually, wait up. Everybody just take a second. Say that again, John.
Forest reserves probably win the division.
Yeah. Just think about that for a second, everybody out there watching right now. Their reserve side probably wins the championship.
Yeah.
That's pretty scary when you think that shows you the levels that we're talking about in these leagues.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Burnley, 14 points, going to come down. Everyone associates Burnley as being utterly terrible. Yet last season, that Burnley side didn't concede goals and got 100 points in the championship.
One of my good mates who's a Pommy here in Australia is a massive Burnley fan, and he literally each year he goes, I saw him only last weekend, and he said, "Yep, we just you just can't win any games. It's just watching the pain and suffering this year. Last year turned up every week expecting us to win." Yeah, and that comment of John's of their Nottingham Forest reserve grade side probably wins the championship is not a slight on any championship side. It's just the quality depth of their squad.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it on Champ Chat. I think it was either recent. I'm not sure if it was the other day or the week before, when we were talking about players and stuff. And we were discussing Gus Harmer and stuff like that. Because he was the player, voted the best player in the championship last season. Realistically, he's not good enough to play in the Premier League. The last couple of times he's played in the Premier League with Sheffield United, he was useless. And that's the difference. You've got the player that was the best player in the league last season is no good. No one wanted him in the Premier League. Not one. No one even decided he was worthy of a bench option to come on for 20 minutes. Not even
now that. A lot of that, and a lot of that can do with the makeup of your squad, but not all of it. Surely out of 20 teams, you would think one of those teams would go, "We'll take that guy."
Oh yeah, I mean, you look at Burnley, you look at Leeds, all of them. I mean, even Sunderland didn't expect to go up last season, got up in the playoffs. At the end of the summer, you would have said, well, Gus Harmer would have been a brilliant signing for Sunderland because best player in the championship, they've gone up. Arguably was better than what Sunderland had in their midfield. Granted, Sunderland went and won the playoffs, but yeah, even they didn't deem him good enough.
And Sunderland will be staying up. They are currently 9th in the Premier League on 33 points. Well done them.
Yeah, massive club. And I always like to see massive clubs in the Premier League.
Great start to their season, which is in their Premier League season, which is why they're going to stay up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is great. It just goes to show. So, yeah, I think that it's just going to be, watch this space, people. Like, the games are coming thick and fast throughout January and February. We get to the end of February, and then that's when the rubber hits the road in terms of who's going to end up where.
Yeah.
And it comes very quickly. It's we're 1 week away from January being finished.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, isn't it? March will come round rather quickly, and then all of a sudden it'll be Easter weekend where that's the do or die weekend, as it always is. You know, that's the one where if you're in the hunt, it's the weekend that can either make your season or break your season.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, no, but I mean, well, mate, I think there's been a great show today. I don't think we need to cover too much more, do we?
No,
mate. Thanks for coming in. I think, this weekend. Okay, let's see how we go. It's you guys, I think, getting a win, in my opinion, and I think we can get the win. So we'll see.
Be nice if we both could win.
It would be nice. Would be very nice. Yeah, and we need it because otherwise, I'm worried for Josh. You know, with these late loss of points in games, it's not good for his health.
Yeah, the just for men's going to get overused.
or he won't need it anymore because he won't have any hair left.
No, it just all come out.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks for coming in today. John, thanks for coming in, buddy. Don't forget, people, hit the like and subscribe. The footy tipping will keep happening. John's now got to go away and do his homework and figure out who he's going to tip to win this weekend because he had winning tipster for the midweek games. Maybe he's a midweek guy. Who knows? So like and subscribe. Consider becoming a member. Tomorrow we have Tack Fortitude. And then after that, we get into the weekend's games again and we're away to QPR. So, yeah, without further ado, we will see you all again next time. Bye, guys.